novel by Emily Bronte, published in 1847. The characters in this novel are Heathcliff, Catherine Earnshaw, Hindley Earnshaw, Frances, Isabella Linton, Edgar Linton, Mr. Earnshaw, Mrs. Earnshaw, Mr. Linton, Mrs. Linton, Hareton Earnshaw, Cathy Linton, and Linton Heathcliff. And I'm going to present these characters. Our first character is Heathcliff. Heathcliff is an orphan taken in by Mr. Earnshaw and raised with his children. Heathcliff falls into an unbreakable love with Mr. Earnshaw's daughter, Catherine. When Mr. Earnshaw dies, his son, Hindley, treats Heathcliff as a servant and abuses him. Heathcliff spends most of his life contemplating and acting out revenge because of his humiliation and misery. He is cruel and abusive. Heathcliff succeeds in acquiring both Wuthering Heights and Trustcross Range by the end of the novel. Next character is Catherine. Catherine Earnshaw, daughter of Mr. Earnshaw, is a female protagonist of the novel Wuthering Heights. She falls in love with Heathcliff. She loves Heathcliff so intensely that she claims they are the same person. But her desire for social advancement motivates her to marry Edgar Linton instead. She is free-spirited, beautiful, and often arrogant. She brings misery to both of the men who love her. Ultimately, her selfishness ends up hurting everyone she loves, including herself. Next character is Hindley. Hindley Earnshaw is Mr. Earnshaw's son and Catherine's elder brother. After his father's death, he takes a bit of revenge on Heathcliff. He inherits the estate and begins to abuse Heathcliff by forcing him to work in the fields. Heathcliff hates him even more in return. When Hindley's wife, Frances, dies shortly after giving birth to their son, he grows up to be a violent alcoholic. Next character is Frances Earnshaw. Frances is Hindley's wife. She treats Heathcliff cruelly. She feared of death and hoped that her husband would offer her a safe life. She dies shortly after giving birth to Hareton. Next character is Edgar Linton. He is well-mannered and well-to-do, Catherine's husband and Heathcliff's rival. He grows into a tender man. He is almost the ideal gentleman. Catherine describes him as easy to be with, cheerful, handsome, and rich. He falls into love with Catherine and marries her. He is a refined man, kind husband, and a loving father. Next character is Isabella Linton. Isabella is Edgar's sister, who falls in love with Heathcliff and marries him. She sees Heathcliff as a romantic figure, like a character in a novel. It causes her to destroy her relationship with her brother. Ultimately, she ruins her life by falling in love with Heathcliff. Heathcliff never retains her feelings and treats her as a tool for revenge on the Linton family. Her unhappy marriage brings an element of cruelty in her character. Next character is Hareton Earnshaw. Hareton is Hindley and Frances Earnshaw's son. After Hindley's death, Heathcliff assumes custody of Hareton and raises him as an uneducated field worker, just as Hindley had done to Heathcliff. Hareton is easily humiliated but shows a good heart and a deep desire to improve himself. At the end of the novel, he marries Cathy. Next character is Linton Heathcliff. Linton is Heathcliff and Isabella's son. Linton is raised in London by his mother and does not meet his father until he is 13 years old. He goes to live with Heathcliff after his mother's death. Heathcliff forces him to marry Cathy to control Trustcross Range, but he dies not long after this marriage. Next character is Cathy Linton. Cathy is daughter of Catherine and Edgar Linton. She has all her mother's charm. She marries her true love, Hareton Earnshaw. Next character is Mr. Earnshaw. Catherine and Hindley's father, Mr. Earnshaw, adopts Heathcliff and brings him to live at Wuthering Heights. He favors Heathcliff over his own son, Hindley. Next character is Mrs. Earnshaw. Mrs. Earnshaw is Catherine and Hindley's mother, who don't like Heathcliff. She favors her own son over Heathcliff. She dies shortly after Heathcliff's arrival at Wuthering Heights. Next character is Mr. Linton, Edgar and Isabella's father and the owner of Trustcross Range. He raises his own children to be well-mannered. Next character is Mrs. Linton. Mr. Mr. Linton's wife, who does not like Heathcliff to be near her children, she dies soon after nursing Catherine back to health.